Y'all know what time it is, man. Hey, it's Packers piece of cheese time. Come and get you a slice. So, what the fuck is up? Higher point of view here. It is your West Coast Packer backer. And like I said, this is Packers piece of cheese. And allow me to introduce my guest, very special guest, Greg Jennings' long lost twin, Keyshawn Nixon's long lost cousin, latest member of the Pack Attack, Bernard Nixon. What's up with you, bro?
Hey man, what's good, man? Ooh, what's
Hey,
good?
chilling, man. Just ready to talk a little Packer football with you. But I
Yeah,
got one question. I got one question to start this off.
yeah, man.
Just a question I'm sure a lot of people want to know, and we probably talked about it before. Do you
Mhm.
think Aaron Rodgers is washed?
Well, to start that off, is that you know this might sound weird, but social media has really taken over sports nowadays, and all this Twitter and all this BS, and like I think people just saying things just to say things or troll just to troll. Um, and in my personal opinion, because I usually ask people and get people's personal opinions on things, and in my personal opinion, no, he's not washed. We just having a bad year as a whole. You know what I mean? So
And let me tell you something, Bernard. Like you just said right now, and the great Aaron Rodgers said himself one time. He
yeah,
said, "Bad years for me are career years for other people." And I just wanted to
yeah,
tell you and every other Packer fan, maybe we just need to sit the fuck back and
hmm,
enjoy this man because he's great. Because there's a whole lot of situations out there. Even though we're in a weird quarterback situation, there's a lot
yeah,
of other situations out there. Bernard, you got Miami with Tua possibly not playing again. You got
hmm,
Jalen Hurts with Philadelphia, who got hurt at the worst time of the year. You got
yeah,
Las Vegas, the future Hall of Fame quarterback, getting benched. So
yeah,
I think we should really appreciate Aaron Rodgers, not only because even though we had a bad year so far, he's still up to par with his numbers. The numbers are not ugly, they're not horrible. And bro, he's He's the straw that stirs the drink for this whole Packers organization, even on defense, even on offense, even on special teams. Him talking up your cousin Keyshawn Nixon, I think has really helped Nixon with his confidence. And I
oh
just
yeah.
think we all as Packer fans need to enjoy this man. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, we are super spoiled, man. Like we going from one Hall of Fame quarterback to the next Hall of Fame quarterback, and we've been spoiled for 30 years of fantastic, great Hall of Fame quarterback play. Whenever Rodgers don't play up to his standards, and look, he's not playing up to his MVP Aaron Rodgers standards this year. We all know that, and I'm pretty sure he knows that too. You know what I mean? Like we know Rodgers is smart. You know what I mean? He's not, hiding the fact that he hasn't played up to Paul. But yeah, man, I mean, he's still like, if you look at the numbers, what he has like 24 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. Now that part, like Rodgers hasn't thrown double digit interceptions in 10 years. So that's shocking to all of us because we used to see him have like single digit interceptions. But I mean, he's still like, like people want to say Kirk Cousins is having a great year, right? Him and Kirk Cousins' numbers are not that far off. Like Kirk Cousins has 27 touchdowns, same amount as interceptions as him, and Rodgers has 3 touchdowns less in the same amount. You know what I mean? Like they both had the same amount of interceptions. So, like if this was Kirk Cousins, Kirk Cousins having an MVP, but it's a Rodgers, he's down year. So that just shows you how great he is because even though he's not playing up to his Paul, up to his standard, I mean, he's still having a solid year.
So, what would you attest that to, Bernard? Because it's not like Aaron Rodgers is taking more risk. Do you think he's thrown more INTs just because of this young group that he has? They don't know the ayahuasca route tree yet. Why you think he's thrown the most picks this year than since, like you said, since 10 years? Why is it? Is it the receivers? Is it the new offense of coordinator? Like, where do you point it at?
Well, I think this is such a confusing discussion because you remember last year, like we saying, Rodgers had 4 interceptions. That's so good. He hasn't turned the ball over. And people said, well, the reason he's not having interceptions because he's not taking risks. He's not taking chances. And now this year, you see him taking chances. You see him throwing, and like you just see him throwing those balls that he doesn't usually throw balls like Rodgers is not. like he's not the quarterback that can throw them 50-50. Like he doesn't like doing them 50-50 type balls. He's the quarterback that he's going to throw the ball where you need it to, that he wants it to be, and you have to just be able to catch it. Now he's taking those risks and he's taking those chances and he's throwing more picks. Now people are freaking out that, stop taking more chances, stop taking more picks. Stop throwing more picks, throw less. So it's like you can't win either way because you want him to take chances and then he takes chances. Now you don't want him to take chances. Like the best one is it? Do you want him to take chances or you don't want him to take chances? So.
Hey, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
So next, let's back up a little bit and talk about you, Bernard. What
Yeah,
are
man.
the origins of your Packer fandom, bro? How'd you become a Packer fan? And if I'm correct, you're from Boston, right?
Yeah, I don't live in Boston, but I do live in Massachusetts.
Okay,
I do
okay.
live in Massachusetts. My family, well, I got family all over the country. I got my roots from New York, and I got my roots from down south, Georgia, and all of them. But I think when for me, how I became a Packer fan, and don't believe it or not, my age, I'm 28 years old. So, I know it doesn't look like it. Some people think and it's like I'm 16.
Yeah,
But
you look good, man. Look good.
yeah. But
Black don't crack.
yeah. But I became a Packer fan. Long story short, but I became a Packer fan back in 2001 when I was 7 years old. Back then I wasn't really into football like that. I wasn't at that age that I really understand what football means. But my dad, he's a huge Cowboys fan. God rest his soul, he passed away, but he's a huge Cowboys fan and he loved the Cowboys. And I used to watch football with him all the time, and and he was so worked up over it. I told you it's interesting because I told you, I started getting the football, watching it with my dad. And then when I was in elementary school, we used to have these football cards, and my favorite color was green. Like green is my favorite color, I always loved green. And then we had these football cards, this said the Green Bay Packers. So I was like the Green Bay Packers. So I was like, all right, I start from then. I was hooked into the Green Bay Packers, and then I started watching Packer football, and Brett Favre, and and once and when when there was to the tail end of Brett Favre's career. I'm starting getting into Packer football, and ever since then, I started getting hooked, and I became a Packer fan ever since. So,
Okay. Well,
yeah,
that's good to know.
yeah.
Um, so this Miami game, see, now I'm always trying to be positive about the Packers, and this was the game that I was worried about. I wasn't worried about Detroit, Minnesota, the Rams, or Chicago, our last few games. I was worried about this one, but now that we showed up like that, that's all I needed to see. Miami is the game I needed to see. So as far as you, man, after this game in Miami, where's your confidence at, man? Are you confident in this team? Did that win mean anything for you? Because listen, I went on Packers Twitter. That's a dangerous place. And we have Packer fans talking about oh, well, Miami's reeling. They're a bad team. Tua was concussed. They're downplaying our victory here on the road, Christmas Day, against a team who was one of the best teams all year until they went on this slide. So, did that game do it for you? Are you confident now?
I'm just taking it one game at a time. One game at a time. I think there was a lot of things that I liked in that game. There was a lot of things that we still had to get cleaned up after that game. Our red zone offense is really, has to get some work done. When Nixon gave us that short field, we have to capitalize on that because, we can't, in certain situations, especially in playoffs, you have to take advantage of your opportunities. So I'm really, I thought it was a good win. I think that was a win that I think you're right. I think that was our biggest win of the stretch. the Rams and the Bears. Come on, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you're supposed to beat those teams, but the Dolphins, who are a pretty good team, you know what I mean, who had explosive offense, yes, they were losing 3 in a row, but those teams they lost to was really good playoff contending teams. So I think that was a good boost of confidence win, and I think that's the win that can get this locker room together and be like, wait, we can actually do this. You know what I mean? Like, and in this Vikings game, call me crazy, I'm just not that worried about this game. Like, I don't think the Vikings scare me as much. You know what I mean? I think this is a team that, and yes, they 12-3. They find ways to win. Give them credit. You know what I mean? Kirk Cousins having a good year. You know what I mean? Justin Jefferson, like, that dude's a beast. I mean, I wish we could have drafted that guy, and we still had a chance to draft him, but we all know how that happened. But explosive offense, they dangerous, but the wins that they had, like people want to talk about, us lucking out wins. Like, I think they lead the league in lucking out wins, right?
Hey, you just hit on the nail where the fuck I was just about to go. My next
Yeah,
question was, is Minnesota's luck going to run out? Bernard, I watched one whole game of theirs, the Buffalo game. It was an amazing game. But for them to come out with a win, I mean, you're talking quarterback sneak, which Josh Allen normally gets 3 or 4 yards.
yeah,
The ball gets fumbled, and Minnesota scores a touchdown. And then they came back from 33. There was a couple games in this year that was just like luck. So,
yeah.
I think it's got to run out at some point. So, another thing I was going to ask you, is you even worried about Minnesota? You said no. And actually, I am not either, especially at Lambeau. I think we're going to be okay. And I think the secondary had the game that they needed to have before they come in to see this monster in Jefferson. Because we just seen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, and they found out that they could compete with the best of the best. So, they should come in with a better attitude. And we can't let that motherfucker do what he wants.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Jefferson scares me in this game. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that's the only player that I'm like, week 1, like, he cooked us, man. Like, he destroyed us. Like I think that's a game that Jair wasn't even shadowing him. Like, how can you not have your best corner on arguably the best wide receiver in the league? Like, I don't know. Hopefully, Joe Barry will have a smarter game plan coming in this game, and hopefully, I mean, I don't know. I mean, some people say if you put Jair on him, Justin Jefferson might get his, and that's true. I mean, Justin Jefferson still might get his. Like, we never gonna stop Justin Jefferson. He's gonna get his, but can we contain him? Can we limit him? And I think the key to this game is you got to rattle Kirk Cousins. You have to get at Kirk Cousins. You have to get pressure, because when Kirk Cousins gets pressure, Kirk Cousins folds up. You know what I mean? Get pressure on Kirk Cousins, make him uncomfortable. If you can do that, because Kirk Cousins is not going to do nothing with like 2 seconds. You know what I mean? Kirk Cousins will kill you if Kirk Cousins has time. You can't give him time. You have to rattle him, and you have to, if you can do that and limit that offense, and if our offense can put up points, which I think they can against this Vikings defense. This Vikings defense is not good, man. Like,
Okay.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Hey,
I'm rambling you.
no, you're good. You
Yeah,
running into things I'm gonna talk about anyway. So I just wanted to
yeah,
set you up for it. So yeah, so we talked about the defense, what we need to do. So let's go over to the other side. Now, something
yeah,
important, Bernard. You
yeah,
said, the defense isn't that good, but what they do have is a pass rush. Z came
yeah,
in, did his thing this last game, and Danielle Hunter against
yeah,
us in that game. But David Bakhtiari, appendectomy happened, been out 2 weeks or whatever. But I understand your frustration, Bernard, with David Bakhtiari. He hasn't been available, and I think even one time I heard you say, "Man, we just need to fucking trade him." But when I've seen him this year, bro, and I watch a lot of film on him, he is doing his thing when he's out there. The only problem is getting him out there. But he seems to be out there this week. If he's out there this week, him and Elton, I'm not worried about Z or Daniel Hunter or whatever else they got to offer. So are you watching the injury report? Do you care about the Christian Watson is iffy? So what do you think about that? Do you think we need Bakhtiari in this game to win?
I mean, the Vikings pass rush is solid, but I don't think they are a dominant pass rush. I think with or without David Bakhtiari, I think we would be fine. It just depends on, the X's and O's, and can the offensive line just do their job, give Rodgers enough time and to make plays down the field. And I would love to see well, hold on. I'm going for that for later on. But as far as the Christian Watson, um, we'll see today. I know they practice today. If he doesn't practice again today, he might not play. Um, in which I think that might hurt us because now we don't have now that takes our deep threat. You know what I mean? Now we don't have a deep threat. We don't have no one that can go down the field and burn people. So I hope he plays. If he plays, I think that's huge. If he doesn't, I still think we can win if he doesn't, but I think it might be a little bit tough on the offense though.
I know that you know, I know that normally in a normal situation that if you don't practice all week, you won't play. But I think Matt LaFleur would be a little more, I think I think it could be a chance because how big this game is that he could be a game time decision. I mean, he knows the offense. He probably knows the game
Yeah.
plan already. So maybe he becomes a game time decision and we play him. I hope we do. But back to something you said. You said you mad we could have drafted Jefferson, this, that, and the third. I understand that. But what you also have to understand, Bernard, is Minnesota is responsible for giving us this kid, and he's explosive. And if Christian Watson turns into what we think he could be, basically what he's done this year, but just do it for the whole season, that would be a smack that we could, that would be something we could throw in Minnesota's face also.
Yeah, I think Minnesota. Yeah, you're right. I think you're right. Minnesota. Like, imagine Minnesota had Christian Watson and Justin Jefferson. Oh my God, man! Like, so thank God, and you know me, I kind of been critical on Goot because I think Goot has made some bad decisions with his draft picks, but you have to get Goot credit for training up and getting Christian Watson, man. Like, you have to give him credit, man. And like, because if Minnesota would have snatched him from us again. Like, like, like that Vikings offense is going to be like they might put up 60 points a game, damn near. So thank God, we snatched them before they did, and you know me, I've been kind of critical on Christian Watson earlier this season, but the last 5 weeks, man, he's been balling out. He's been stepping up, and he's been proving like he's playing like a veteran. Like you can almost say, you know what I mean? Like it seems like him and Rodgers are on the same page. Trust me, there's no
Yeah,
way no connection's gonna keep us down.
definitely not.
We're gonna keep fighting through this.
Hey, just like the Packers, keep fighting this year. So I wanted to ask you,
Yeah.
man, is there any way, bro, in your mind, first of all, how do you feel about Joe Barry? And number two, is this guy coming back next year? I think, man, I think he might be coming back. But do you think he can do enough to convince Packer fans who have PTSD from his defensive scheme over the first half of the year? Do you think that Joe Barry can put together enough for us to bring him back confidently next year?
Well, I've been giving Joe Barry the benefit of the doubt, and don't get me wrong, Joe Barry has been doing good earlier this season. Like this game, like this games that the defense has kept us in it, but the offense hasn't really, hold their end of the side. But now these last few get like after that Philadelphia game, like I've been kind of off the Joe Barry bandwagon, and I don't know, like if you make the playoffs, like I don't know, like if you make the playoffs, do we bring him back? I don't know. Like I will. That's a tough one because if you make the playoffs, you have to bring him back. If not, then I think you should let him go and get like a Jim Leonard or get somebody that's a good defensive minded coach and that can really come and coach coordinate the defense. But I don't know. I mean, I think it depends on how we finish the season. I think Joe Barry has improved in some areas. I still hate him, like like we play so far off our wide receivers, and we did it again against Miami. Like we playing like 10 yards off. It's like why are we playing that far off all the time? Like I don't know. I mean, Joe Barry, I kind of got a love hate relationship towards Joe Barry.
I agree with you. Yeah, man, he got that bend but don't break. But when you bend in, it does not feel good. Like if these
Yeah.
motherfuckers start a drive on the 5, they gonna just dink and dunk their whole way down the field, and we're gonna have to hope on the 4th down stop at the end
Yeah.
or missed field goal or something like that. So back to coach bringing back a coach for next year. We all know Nathaniel Hackett got fired. Are you
Mhm.
okay with with him coming back, if that even is going to happen? And do you think, bro, I wish he could come back now, because what did he
Yeah,
do when he first came to Green Bay? The gold zone, man.
I was about to
But
say
and
that.
what do we have a problem with? And just like you said, Keyshawn ran us all the way there. We should have scored.
Yeah,
Jerron took the ball away and got turnover. We didn't capitalize off of that either. You know, now the
yeah,
momentum
no,
changed, but we didn't score. So are you
no.
with bringing Nathaniel Hackett back?
I think we need him back because we need that goal zone feeling back, man. Like we just like in 2020, we was unstoppable in the red zone. Like we was scoring left and right. Like no one can stop us. Now
And we
this
scored every first drive. Like every first drive, we scored.
exactly. You know what I mean? And even last year we wasn't that bad as well. You know what I mean? It just seems like this year we can't punch it in. And I don't know, maybe it's the new personnel we have. I don't know if guys are not on the same page. I don't know if it's a play calling. I don't know if Rodgers is not really following the script. He's keep on checking out. I just don't know what it is, but I think we need him back because of that reason. We need to get back of scoring in the red zone.
And I think that he left a year early. You know, I think teams got greedy. Denver said, oh, okay, Green Bay's the new hot spot. They won 13 games this times in a row. We gonna get Nathaniel. I think he left a little early. I wanted him to stay one more year, and then I would have been accepted him as leaving to go get a coaching job. But I didn't know he was gonna leave that soon. But I'm glad Matt LaFleur didn't do the Bill Belichick treatment. Like, hey, hold up, you ain't leaving. You better
Yeah,
chill out for another year. But you know, hopefully he could come back. So
yeah,
that is that, bro. We got 2 more to go, man. We
yeah.
gotta be positive. We just gotta ride this wave. We got to this point, and it is very doable, man. Win these 2 divisional games, 2
Mm-hmm.
teams that we owe one already anyway. You
Yep.
know, so bro, it's right in front of us, and I just hope that the Packers take advantage, man. And I can't wait to see the game. But I got an even bigger question for you, man. This is a bigger,
Amen.
tough question right now, man. Who's the king of New York, man? Biggie, Jay-Z, or Nas, man? Or you got somebody else you want to add to the mix? Who's the king of New York, man?
The king of first of all, have you saw that there's a movie about that, by the way, King of New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, a classic. I just bought that up. But
That's where he got Frank Wright from.
yeah, Frank Wright, yeah. Lawrence Fishbone with the grill. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But the King of
You old school, huh?
Oh yeah, man! Like Boys in the Hood, like I go all the way back, man. You know what I
Hell
mean? All
yeah.
the way back. Like you can like even back then in the '70s, I might go back a show, back then, whatever like that. But
Who you got?
my favorite. That's a tough one, man. I mean, all 3 of them are great. You know what I mean?
Okay. So let me ask you this. What do
Yeah,
you look for in a rap artist? What do you look for? So me, I first of all, like when you talk, I like to listen and I have to
yeah,
want to believe you. That's number one. Number
yeah,
two, production helps a lot, but I'm number one, is it real? Number two, the lyrics, and 3, production for me. How do you
yeah.
break it down? What makes a good artist to you?
I mean, I just like someone who tells a story, someone who I can relate to, someone who tells stories out into what's going on. You know what I mean? Like that's what Biggie did. That's what Nas did. Jay-Z, I don't know. That's what he does to some kind of extent. But those are the type of rappers I like. You know what I
So who
mean?
you got?
I mean, it's like
I
it's
got Biggie, bro, and I got Nas, and then I got Jay-Z. That's just me, man.
I mean, it's kind of like seeing who you want as your quarterback out of the top 3: Rodgers, Peyton, or Brady. It's kind of like still so hard, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give it to Nas though. Just his lyricism, you know what I mean, and Nas just makes up things that no one can even make up saying. You know what I mean? I think Nas is the true lyricist out of those 2. But don't get me wrong, Jay-Z and Biggie are great, but I think Nas kind of takes the cake.
So what was better, bro? Ether or Takeover?
Takeover. A lot of people might go Takeover if you talk about facts, you know what I mean. But if you're talking about like just killing someone, I think Ether has so much energy. You know what I mean? It has so much energy. It was intense. You know what I mean? But I mean, I think they're both are good diss tracks. But you know, I want to say Ether slightly. But Takeover is good too.
Okay. Well, look,
Yeah.
people came up with their own names of the group, bro. I'm honored and I'm just happy that, you're in the group now with us. But hey,
Yeah,
one
man.
thing about Bernard, y'all, like I said, he got a few videos out there, especially at the beginning of the year. I was waiting for another one, waiting for another one. But hey,
Yeah.
if y'all want to see Bernard, y'all just got to go live. Hey,
Yeah.
Bernard's question is who's going live? So, if y'all want to see
Yeah.
Bernard's opinions, he done been on TR's live.
Yeah.
Big Nate's live, Vegas live. That's how you gotta catch Bernard, y'all. But he got some like great points, y'all. See, he got that mouthpiece. He knows football. He knows hip hop. Obviously, he knows gangster movies. So me and
Yeah.
Bernard could talk about a whole lot of shit. But
Yeah, man.
yeah, man. Hey, thank you for coming on this motherfucker. And bro,
Yeah, man.
any last words you want to say?
I just want to say, go Pack, go. Win, lose or draw. I'm gonna be rooting for this team 100%. You know, I hope we can go on a magical run like we did in 2010 and go to the promised land and be the last team standing. So, you know what I mean? Let's go out there and kick some Viking butt, and that's it.
Ain't it crazy where we are, Bernard? God damn it.
Yeah,
Ain't it
yeah,
crazy that this is the position we're in, bro? Just win the last
yeah,
two, man. So
yeah.
now another thing, fuck it. Are you scoreboard watching? Are you an honorary Cleveland Browns fan this week? Or are you just not gonna pay attention to it and just worry about the Packers handling their business?
I'm gonna just worry about the Packers just taking care of their business, because at the end of the day, it doesn't mean nothing if the Packers don't win. So the Packers need to win and take care of their games. And yes, I'm gonna be watching the other games too to see what the scenarios would be. But just win our games. We at home. We got the last two home games. A good divisional opponents, like you said, we do owe them, and we usually split through the season. Like we usually split with the Vikings, we split against Detroit, and I can't see us. I mean, and I can't see them sweeping us this year. I just can't. You know what I mean? So, again, everything's out on the table, and we just have to see if the Packers are going to capitalize on it. So,
Hey, I agree with you on that. And look, people got their own little side names of the Pack Attack. You got, Vegas call it the Pack Attack, or Wolf Pack. KH calls it Pack Attack Gang. Hey, I just want to mention another king of New York in my eyes. I'm a big fan of Prodigy and Mobb Deep, so I'm gonna call
yeah,
us the infamous Pack Attack, because
yeah,
hey, Prodigy, bro. Even Jay-Z said himself, he was like, man, for a while, Prodigy was a problem, man. He was the best lyricist in New York for a certain year span. That boy got skills,
yeah,
man.
yeah. All IP, man.
Yeah, man. RIP. Hey, that's what it is, y'all. Hey, let's stay positive. Go, Pack motherfucking go. Let's go get this victory. Shout out to the whole infamous Pack Attack, man. Packer fan in Vegas, Big Nate, KHTV, TR, Adam motherfucking James, and my boy Bernard here. Shout out to Key 2. Shout out to Packers Kingdom. Hey, shout out to motherfucking Cali Packer. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Freddie Roper. I ain't gonna turn that into this right now. But
Yeah,
yeah, man, we out this motherfucker, but hey, let's stay positive, Packer fans, and it's all in motherfucking front of us. So, like Bernard said, 1 week at a time, goddammit, and we out.
All right.